I'm Susan with Mommy High Five, and this is Inspiring Moms Podcast. Today, our guests are the owners of Modest Molly, a women's clothing boutique. We have Amanda and Lindsay here with us, and we're so glad that they're here. They are both mothers and wives and business women. So welcome to our podcast, ladies.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Thanks for being here.
Glad to be here.
So Amanda, will you just get us started and let us know what Modest Molly is, how you got started, why you decided to do this?
Sure. So we are a modest women's clothing boutique. We're located in Lehi, Utah, but if you don't live close to us, you can always shop online. Our website is modestmolly.com. We cater to women of all sizes. So we have small up to size 3X. And we really try to bring in a lot of stuff for the plus size. We are a mostly plus size curvy boutique. So how it got started was we're about ready to celebrate our 6th birthday. So 6 years ago, as a plus size person myself, I was having a really hard time finding stuff that made me feel good about myself. Like I just felt frumpy and old and, not as cute and hip as these young skinny girls. And I was like, there has to be something out there that will make me feel good about myself, because that's what I really needed at that time. And so I'm like, well, I can't find it in the stores, so I guess we'll just see if we can kind of do our own thing, and maybe I can find some out in the world and kind of get clothes that I feel comfortable in. As a plus size person. So I'm like, there's got to be something out there. I am going to start my own thing. So I started ordering some clothes, some plus size clothes from wholesalers, and they come in packs. So I'm like, I'll just get a keep one for myself, and then I'll just sell the rest to friends. And I brought Lindsay on with me. Lindsay is my friend and neighbor, and I said, do you want to do this with me? We can get free clothes for ourselves, then we can sell the rest to our friends. And she's like, okay.
Well, at first it was interesting because you were just doing you would order just a couple off
Yeah.
Alibaba, actually.
Yeah.
And
straight from China.
Yeah, but the sizing was all over the place.
No, we'd get we'd order a 2X and it would be
yeah, it was more like an extra small, or anyway, it was just all over the place.
All over the place.
And I feel like you had tried another clothing.
I went through a few.
Yeah, just to try to find something that would work. Mm-hmm. And so when I came on, you were like, I've just been buying these clothes and I'm putting them on Facebook yard sale pages and making some money off of it. And you're like, would you want to help me? I'm like, I don't even know what that is, but I can post stuff to Facebook yard sale pages. And so, but then we found the wholesale website, and you're like, oh, I think we could maybe find, and it was US sizing, so then it was much easier, but it did come in packs, so we had to figure out kind of how to make that work.
Yeah, because we couldn't just buy one for each of us.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
we're like, oh, this will be fun, we'll try this. Yeah. And then our friend Allison, who is also our neighbor and another business partner with us, she's not here today, she's celebrating her 20th anniversary with her husband. But she was like, oh, that sounds cool. I want to do that with you.
Yeah.
So we're like, okay.
We're like, we don't know what we're doing, but you're welcome to do it with us.
Sure. So we quickly found that I wasn't the only one that was struggling with plus size clothing. And
the boutique market at that time did not have hardly any plus options.
Anything.
There weren't any other boutiques really offering plus size options.
So we would have people come shop in my living room. We would do these little open houses where women could come and try on the few pieces that we had. We started with one clothing rack, just this size. And we quickly found that there was a large need for plus size clothing. So very quickly it took over my living room, my family room, my dining room, the basement. I mean, we would have these open houses maybe once a month or something, and there'd be people trying on clothes in my pantry. Just grab a snack if you need something. So it got to the point where it's my family can't function in this situation covered in clothes. We've got to decide, are we going to keep this as a little hobby, or are we going to make something big of it? And we're like, there's a need. Let's do it. Let's make something big of it. So that's kind of the journey that we're on. And now we're on our second location.
That's awesome. And none of you had done anything like this before, right?
Oh, no.
No, we are full-blown moms first. So our lives, well, they still are full of soccer and carpool and school activities and things like that. But so no, this was not in our life plan.
And between the three of you, you two and Allison, there are 13 children, correct?
Yes, 13 kids.
So that's a lot of busy schedules to try to juggle.
From ages 8 to 18, like just the whole gamut.
That's pretty impressive, I have to say. Lindsay, what has been the most rewarding part of this for you?
Oh, there's been a lot of rewards, I think. I mean, obviously, as we've grown, to be able to contribute. So I have kids that are all in very highly competitive sports. And so, like, for me, it's been awesome to be able to contribute to my household income. I think that's been really rewarding for me. And then just to see something that when you initially just started putting ads on Facebook and you're just like, to see it grow. And now we have this big warehouse. That's been really rewarding to watch. And then just personally, the confidence that I've gained through, because we've just had to, in the beginning, especially, we were the models.
Yeah.
And so just to get comfortable in front of a camera and now like doing these just really dumb dances on the internet. Like I just having that confidence, the self-confidence, I've always been a confident person, but now I just really feel comfortable in my own skin. And, you know, like we've been doing it for 6 years. That's like the ups and downs of just, you know, all the things. And so just to be on the camera every week and to watch yourself and you're like, okay,
some days it's like that does not look good.
Yeah. And so anyway,
it's just hard.
Yeah, but yeah, you just get I've just gained a lot of confidence, and that probably has been the most rewarding thing. Confidence in my ability to build a business, confidence in my ability to be in front of a camera, confidence in my ability, you know, like I'm a better mom probably. That's probably been the biggest and most rewarding thing.
And how about for you, Amanda?
One of my favorite things that makes me want to come back to work every day and keep doing this is finding those people who, again, are in a similar situation where they come into the shop and they're like, I hate clothes shopping. I haven't worn jeans in 15 years. I don't want to do this. And then we take the time to help them find something that works for them, that they like. And a lot of times they have to think outside the box, like, oh, I'm not going to try on that size because I've never been that size or I never will be that size. But we're like, well, let's just try it. You're here. Let's just try it. Or, you know, oh, I would never wear a floral. I don't like that. Well, you're here. Let's just try it. And seeing them try it on and then be like, oh my gosh, like I look good and I feel good. And then they leave buying the pair of jeans that they haven't worn in 15 years because they found something that actually works and fits. And then they just leave with a whole different countenance than when they walked in the door.
I do love when they leave in the clothes that they tried on.
Oh, yeah.
They're like, I'm just going to walk out in these jeans. I'm like,
just here's the tag.
Yeah, like you haven't worn jeans in 10 years and you're going to walk out in jeans. Like, that is huge.
So that's what's been my favorite part, is seeing that, like, yes, I saw a change in myself and the confidence and the way I feel about myself. But seeing that change in others has been so rewarding. It's amazing the power that a piece of fabric can have on the way we feel about ourselves.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And I've seen that when I've been in your shop. People are just happy to be there. They're excited to have clothes that make them feel beautiful and feel happy with what they look like. What are your thoughts on body image, and how do you see your brand encouraging a healthy body image?
Okay. Yes. So as we have grown, we have also been working with manufacturers to build the right fit for a curvy body. We totally believe that you can find something that fits you and that makes you feel good about yourself, no matter what your size or your shape is. When you shop with us, we are very non-judgmental. We love all body shapes and all body sizes, and we feel that you can be confident in who you are, just as you are. You don't need to change who you are to feel good about yourself. So,
well, and going to the point of like, manufacturers would take these clothes that were, the size small, and then they would just incrementally get bigger. And they're like, no, we do offer plus size. And we're like, well, that's not the same, just blowing it up. And so it affects the way you feel about yourself when you come in and you're like, well, this is my normal size. Like my normal size is a 1X or a 2X. But then you put it on and you're like, oh my gosh, why is it so tight here? And why can't I move my arms? And, so then it totally messes with you mentally. And so we have felt like that's not really fair to the plus size woman. And so we've really tried to work with manufacturers that we love and be like, okay, here's what you need to do. You need to add a little bit of length on the sleeve, a little bit more on the shoulder, so because it just feels like to feel confident, it needs to fit right.
Mm-hmm.
And
so we've worked really hard to make sure that our items fit true to size. And one thing that you will find here with us at Modest Molly is we are brutally honest. So we do try on videos of everything. I literally try on every plus size item that comes through the door. And I will tell you, okay, this one's going to fit tight in your arms. So if arms are your trouble area, this is not the top for you, or you can size up, or, so we really try to tell you exactly how the product is, how it fits, and what size we think you should order based on the cut that comes in. Does that make sense?
Yes, because it's not always about the size, you know. Like I've definitely been in times in my life where I'm like, I'm not going to wear that if I have to order that size, which is so dumb, because what I've come to learn in 6 years of doing this is that not all sizes are the same. So
oh yeah, totally.
You could get a 2X in this, it's just like when we would order stuff from China and it just wouldn't be the right sizing. And so that's what we've tried to encourage people is forget about the size. I mean, it's good to have a reference, but forget about the size. The number, and just trust that we're going to tell you, okay, this is a 2X. However, it doesn't fit like a 2X. Because as much as we've tried to work with manufacturers to change the way that they build clothes for the plus size woman, we haven't
reached everyone.
Yeah. Not everyone's taking our advice, but so that's why we give these brutally honest reviews of, okay, this is tight in the shoulders. If you are broad and busty, you're going to need to size up. Don't worry that it's a 3X. It's not a you problem. It's a them problem.
Yeah.
What kind of feedback are you getting from your customers?
Oh, I think most people are very happy with what we're trying to do, which is make it a real shopping experience. I think they understand. I think our customers understand that we're real women and that it's like shopping with your best friend that you've never met. Like
we get that a lot. We're like, I feel like we're friends. We're like, yes, we're totally friends.
Yeah, because Amanda will do the try-ons and then we post them on the website. And that's a lot of companies don't do that because it takes a little extra work, and it's not always. Sometimes I feel like they're I don't know, not tricked is the right word because I don't think it's dishonest, but I think it's just more of like, oh, we're going to get an extra large model, but who's like barely maybe an extra large, who's probably more like a 12, like a 10, 12, where an extra large person is more like a 12, 14, and they have actual curves and they, and so we try to be real about the way our clothes fit. And I think that's where having the try-ons really matter because it's showing a real woman with real curves
and movement.
Yes, and movement. Yeah. And, because you can't hide the fact that like the buttons are pulling when you've got it on.
Yeah.
So I think we're getting a lot of good feedback from our customers in the way that we are approaching how we sell our clothes.
We have a very, very strong, loyal customer base that just keeps coming back. And I get quite a few emails because I'm over customer service. So I get quite a few emails that are like, I'm so glad I found you. I get emails that are like, my whole closet's Modest Molly.
Yeah.
Thank you for doing what you do. Don't ever stop doing it. So people are finding what they need, and we're providing something that is working. So we're getting lots of good feedback.
That's great. Obviously, what you're doing is working. And I think that people are finding that whether they're shopping in your store or online. It's a different shopping experience for sure. It's much more of a friendly experience, and I think your customers can tell that you really care.
Good. Yeah, thank you. We try to be very relatable. So we do lives a couple times a month, and in those lives, you're going to get to know us real well because it is just off the cuff.
Yeah, well, that's great. How has your vision for Modest Molly changed, and what are you hoping for in the future?
Oh, goodness.
I think in the beginning, we definitely saw it more as a hobby.
Yeah.
You know, just like, okay, one shirt for me, sell the rest off.
Give us a little something to do that was for us, that wasn't a mom thing.
Yeah.
You know?
And we didn't get paid. We didn't pay ourselves for a long time. So it truly was just, you know, let's get some free clothes and have a little something to do. And then, you know, I think as we've seen it grow, I mean, I think it's taken me years to come around to the idea of like, let's grow this and see how far we can take it. Mm-hmm. Where I think I fought it for a long time, where I'm like, no, I'm a mom. I have all my kids. I don't want to, you know, I'm as busy as I want to be with work. And so I think my vision of where I want Modest Molly to go has changed over the last 6 years. I would say even just over the last year, and that probably is attributed to my kids being older.
Yeah.
You know, they don't need me as much. And so that's just me personally. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I agree with that. I think that in the beginning, it was just like a little bit for me, a little bit for you. And then it was every few months would be like, okay, are we still into this? Are we still feeling good about it? And
like we didn't even have a business contract until probably the second year.
Yeah, well, maybe like a year and a half in. But yeah. So, and then it was like, okay, well, COVID hits, you know, a couple years into it. And we're like, well, we see a lot of our boutique friends maybe closing business or just doing something completely different. And we're like, what do we want to do? And then we're like, well, if we see steady growth, we'll just keep with it, you know. And we did. We saw really great growth during COVID times, which we're so fortunate for. But I do feel like the past couple of years, it's been like, okay, we're ready to kick it into high gear. Like, let's kick it into high gear. So I always tell people, they're like, oh, how long do you think you'll do this for? And my answer is always like, as long as there's a need and as long as we're still having fun and enjoying it, we'll be around.
Great. Well, I'm thinking there's going to be a need for a long time. So if you could go back a couple years and give yourself some advice, what would it be?
Oh,
I know for me, I would, and I think this is true with any phase of life. Like I have a daughter who's entering her senior year, and, you know, as my kids have entered all these phases, I think that just always comes to my mind of, I wish I would have maybe enjoyed it a little more, or I wish I wouldn't have stressed about the little things. And so when I think about the business, I think if I could go back, especially to those first couple of years, I think I would have, what I would have wanted to change is to maybe not be so like against other ideas, or, you know, to not fight other people's opinions, or to just kind of be more open and kind of enjoy it a little more, instead of, I think I fought a lot of my feelings about the business, which is so weird. Because it's like, I didn't have to do it. I mean, obviously it was like my choice, but I think I shouldn't have stressed about some of the things I stressed about, and maybe just taken the time to really soak in like what was happening.
I think for me, the advice I give myself a couple of years ago, like if you're starting a new business and you just need to find balance. Like when we first started, I was not finding balance. I was like, needed to do the business 12 hours a day, and I needed to be a mom 12 hours a day. And summertime came and all the kids were home, and I'm like trying to, do the business from home, and there was just like no balance. It was total chaos in my life. So I feel like I'm mastering that balance a little bit. So I like to get up early. I like to get ready before my kids get off to school so I can spend a little bit of time with them. And then I work when they're at school, and I'm home when they're home. And that has really worked for me, is to create that balance. I mean, it's a constant juggle and a constant shift. The balance always has to change a little bit. But I would have told myself a few years ago, just like, chill out. We don't need to do the business 12 hours a day. We can cut it off and we can be a mom. And yeah, that's what I would have told myself.
Well, I have to say, I have known Amanda for almost 20 years. And you, Amanda, you are one of the best people I know at balancing things and making sure that that everything that's important gets done. So,
thank you. I try really hard because if there's too much chaos and if I'm not organized and balanced, then I just tend to shut down. So I've got to keep it together. But thank you. That's so nice.
Lindsay, can you talk a little bit about that for you? How do you juggle everything and keep everything going? Because I know that your family is really busy too.
Oh, so busy. Yeah. So, I mean, I handle a lot of Instagram, and I do photo shoots, and I organize the releases and stuff. And so a lot of my job I can do from my phone. In fact, I actually have been a little out of balance. So this is good that we're talking through this.
We complement each other.
Yeah, because I find myself on my phone, working with my kids and while I'm with my kids. And so I think it's been a double-edged sword in some ways, where I don't have tasks that I need to be sitting at my computer to do. It's like, oh, I put it off, but then all of a sudden I'm like, oh, it's 9:00 at night and I still haven't posted certain things that I need to post. So,
well, the hard thing with social media is all the algorithms.
She probably so I'm always aware of that.
Work just in the mornings, So.
Yeah, so I am aware of that, but it's like, oh, I'm laying in my bed with my husband and I gotta post things, so I'm always working on the balance. But this job has been really nice as far as flexibility goes. I have to travel with my kids a lot for sports, and my husband's really busy with his job. He's a teacher and a coach. And so it's really nice to have that flexibility to say, oh, I'm going to run to Sacramento this weekend, but I can do my job from my phone, and I don't have to, panic or miss out on a lot of things, or even have to get everything done before I leave. So it actually has been really nice for me to just be able to plug it in when I can do it.
Great.
Lindsay's really good at, when she's with her kids, she's with her kids. So when she goes to their sporting events, she is on the sidelines. She is in it.
Yeah. So then halftime I'm posting or I'm answering questions on Instagram. But yeah, I love this stage of life that my kids are at right now. Too. And so I'm really trying to just soak it in and have the perspective that, if Modest Molly doesn't grow the way we want it to grow right now, it will eventually, but I'll never get this time back with my kids.
Right.
My kids will never be these ages again. And so, like I said, especially, and Amanda's got a son going on a mission here soon. And you just start to realize how fleeting time is. And it's so sad, but it's so exciting at the same time. I don't know about you, but I'm so reflective of my childhood and those years that I was getting ready to go to college. And then when I was in college, I don't know, it's just so fun to reminisce and to talk to my kids about it and express the excitement that is coming and the hard things and the decisions that weigh on you. It's so, but I love that we get to be there for our kids and still have this really fun job. It's not even a job. It still feels kind of like a hobby.
It kind of does. We just pay ourselves
It's
now.
like a little more serious hobby. But anyway, so I love a lot of things about it. I think it is, I think this stage of our life is so fun. And so just Modest Molly kind of plugs in just right.
Great. I think one of my favorite things about doing this podcast is that I am talking to moms like you who are seeing a need for something that's not there, and they are being brave and doing whatever they have to help fill that need. So I imagine there are a lot of women out there with great ideas who have no idea how to get started, or they're scared because they don't, like you weren't business women to start with. What advice do you have for women who have an idea of something that needs to happen or something that would be beneficial, but they're scared to get started or they don't know what to do? What would you tell them?
That's a good question. I would say if you've got this great idea and you want to do it and you're passionate about it, do it. Just try it. Just start. And just start small. Don't let it overtake your life from day one. Just start small and just kind of see where it goes. Make sure that you put the most important things in your life first. So if, like for us, that's our family. Our family always comes first. So, make sure that you enjoy, like if it is your family that is most important to you, put them first and then start when you have time. Find the balance, but just do it. Be brave, because women are amazing and we can do hard things, and you got this.
I would say my advice would be to not be afraid to hire people.
Mm-hmm.
You might not make as much off the top if if you're doing it to try to help your family, or if you're, if it's, so find someone to do it with you.
Yeah.
Like my sister was getting ready to start a business and she was talking about all the things. She's like, how do you do this? And I'm like, luckily I didn't have to do it by myself. There's 4 of us because Amanda's husband does it too. And I don't think I would have survived if I tried to do it by myself. And even if that's not in the form of a business partner, having someone that you can hire or rely on to help you with that business.
And just bounce ideas off of.
Yes, I think that's really important. Now, obviously, it's always risk, because sometimes working with other people adds another complication to it. So I think you just have to, when the time comes, don't be afraid to ask for help, or hire a little teenager to help you with shipping if that's what you're doing, or hire someone to help you with your website, or find the thing that is really hard for you to do and have someone help you do it. And then you focus on the things that you like about the business. And then I think it will fill in the holes of where you can fit it in, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So it won't necessarily take over, but it will work.
Yeah, and maybe the idea is treat it like a hobby. Don't treat it like a job. Don't treat it like I got to go in and make $1 million this year. Just treat it like this is something fun that I enjoy doing because it makes me feel good.
Yeah.
I'm going to do it when I can.
But definitely, like Amanda said, be brave.
Yeah.
Because it is. I remember the first in-person event that we were going to have at Amanda's house, and I was freaking out.
You and me both.
Oh, it was so scary. Like, I was telling my husband, what if nobody comes? What if this is an epic fail? What if we don't sell a single thing of clothes?
What are we doing?
Because we had put some money into the event, and even at the time, it wasn't that much. It was like, oh, we maybe bought balloons and treats. And, we're like, we're spending some money. And so what if we don't make that money back?
We weren't paying ourselves.
Yeah. It was very scary to host this event and just not know if anyone's going to show up. And that night I went home and just had tears because it was a house full. And it was 2 hours of just packed. People showed up for us, and I'll never forget that. It was just a really cool experience of doing something very scary and then having people show up for you and feeling super accomplished.
Mm-hmm. And I think it's important to realize that it's not all going to be like we're starting here and we're just going to continue up here and it's going to be great the whole time. No, like there's going to be, it goes like this. There are phases where it's really hard and it's like not fun. And, you know, maybe some of us aren't getting along or don't have the same ideas, or it's not all rainbows and unicorns and
No.
flowers.
No.
But when those hard times come, again, if it's something that you really love, stick through it, stick with it, come up with a plan, maybe recenter your focus, listen to other people's ideas, and again, just be brave.
Yeah. Because going back to the events, we've had some events where really hardly anyone came.
And we're like, well, we just wasted our time.
That was a big fat waste of 2 hours. But, you know, that first event was like, okay, anything's possible.
Mm-hmm.
And then you kind of get through those times where nobody comes, or like you have a launch that flops, or, you know, and you just, okay, well, I guess we'll just put everything on sale from that one and start fresh.
Yeah. So just know that it's going to be a struggle at times.
Yeah.
But sticking through it will be beneficial.
Yeah.
That's great advice. I really I'm grateful that you two were willing to talk to me today. I think there are a lot of things that I'm going to think about and change because of what you have talked about today. So I really appreciate you taking the time out of your busy schedules to be here.
Yeah.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thanks for having us. That was fun.
Can you tell me where we can find your products and where we can follow you?
Sure.
So our Instagram is Modest Molly Boutique, I believe, still. If you just search Modest Molly, we should pop up. And then our website is modestmolly.com. We're on Facebook, Modest Molly.
Our TikTok account is just like...
We do have a TikTok.
If you got to go look at those and watch Lindsay.
It's very entertaining.
She's amazing.
Did something.
If you want to talk about getting out of your comfort zone, she has done a great job of that.
Yes.
And now it is comfortable.
Yes, I am. I mean, you still feel ridiculous. Trust me. That piece of it never quite goes away. But you do get used to it, and you do just say, man, who cares? But anyway, so yeah, TikTok, we're Modest Molly. I think everywhere we're just Modest Molly. There might be a boutique on some of those that we haven't gone through and taken that part off, but
so you can see all of our new arrivals. Every Monday and Thursday morning we launch plus size new arrivals. Wednesdays are our regular size release. Like yesterday we just launched a teen collection that's got really cute teen dresses that are modest but more like trendy with the younger girls, the younger crowd. So you can take a look at that. But we drive all traffic back to our website, modestmolly.com. That's where you'll purchase. One thing that we really, really try to be great about is quick shipping time. So when you purchase, we will ship it out within 24 to 48 hours. 48 hours if it's over the weekend. But typically our shipping lady, she is amazing.
Yeah.
So you will get your package fast. We want you to have it fast because we know you're excited about it. So yeah, head to our website, check it out, and hopefully find something you love.
Yes. And we do have a storefront in Lehigh. It's on State Street, 255 East State Street, and we are open Monday through Saturday, 10 to 5.
Okay.
Yes, it's a great opportunity to come in, try stuff on. We have trained all of our employees to like talk about the fit, and so if you come out of the dressing room, you're like, oh, is this fit right? Or what do you think about this? They're going to give you an honest but kind opinion about that. And if it isn't something that's the right fit, they're going to help you find something that will work for you. So we hope that when you come shop with us, either online, social media, or in store, that you have a great shopping experience and you leave feeling like, oh my gosh, I feel so good.
Great. So that's Lehigh, Utah. And check out modestmolly.com. Thanks for joining us today on Inspiring Moms, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks.
Thanks for tuning in to this episode of Inspiring Moms. If you or someone you know is interested in being featured as an inspiring mom, please contact us at inspiringmoms@mommyhighfive.com.